Minister, thank you very much for your time and consideration. At Walker, we believe we can deliver something that is absolutely outstanding for Toondah Harbour, the local community and the environment. Thank you for your time.
Highly regarded public international law expert, Professor Emeritus Gillian Triggs, endorsed Walker Corporation's new Toondah Harbour with her opinion paper stating the project is capable of meeting the wise use obligation by maintaining and developing the ecological character of the Moreton Bay Ramsar site, using an integrated ecological systems approach to management of the site and ensuring sustainable use in the future. Toondah Harbour isn't the first project to be developed under Ramsar wise use principles. Projects in Australia and around the world have succeeded in maintaining their ecological character alongside sustainable development.
There was a level of quality assurance right from the design stage of the EIS through its process and then finally to the conclusions it reached, which I think took it into the next level of scientific credibility. It is one of the most highly qualified reports that I've read. The science is cutting edge. The people they employed were the right people. And I think what has been delivered is a report that Walkers and frankly anyone involved in it can be very proud of.
As a message to the Minister, I'll point out that the Independent Advisory Panel has concluded that there's been a rigorous scientific process for the EIS over many years and involved a lot of people, a lot of scientists, engineers and social scientists. And the conclusion from that process is that there should be no substantial impact on the Ramsar listed site and that there's on balance a net benefit in terms of managing economy alongside environment of the conservation actions and offsets plan, particularly with a view to the future, showing not only for the Redlands coast but beyond how to do that well. In terms of conservation actions and offsets, done well, that's an opportunity to showcase how we can have infrastructure development and the aspirations of an increasing economy alongside a protected area, particularly leading into the 2032 Olympics.
The Toondah Harbour EIS has collated the best science to ensure that development can strike the right balance between enhancing the environment and sustainable development to provide social and economic benefits in accordance with Ramsar wise use principles.
Toondah Harbour is one of Australia's busiest passenger ports and the Redlands primary marine facility with over 1 million passenger movements each year, 30,000 vessel movements and almost 200,000 cars, trucks and four-wheel drives transported through the waters here each year.
A bustling port with a vibrant population growing on its doorstep, Toondah Harbour is a vital port for the Australian tourism industry and Cleveland's future, but it's rusting, it's run down and it's not fit for purpose.
I understand what Toondah Harbour is. It's a working port. It's dredged by us, the state government, every 5 years or so. It isn't pristine, untouched coastline like many of the other spots are. It is a working port. It should have never been in the Ramsar area for those very reasons. We've got to protect Ramsar, don't get me wrong. If it was in other areas down at Oyster Point, I wouldn't be supportive, but I understand what this part of the coastline is. It isn't untouched, it isn't pristine, and it needs upgrading desperately.
The new Toondah Harbour will maintain and develop the ecological character through wise use, with a new world-class ferry terminal to meet the growing ecotourism demands in Moreton Bay, jobs creation with 1,000 construction jobs and another 500 ongoing, economic growth including $95 million of trade and expenditure to the Cleveland area, and a big boost to tourism with another 50,000 visitors a year. Vital housing supply to align with the Albanese government's commitment to diversity in dwellings, essential community infrastructure including roads, transport and car parking, 3.5 hectares of recreation space, a water play area and 1.5 kilometres of low-impact bayside walking and heritage trails, and the creation of an environmental education and cultural centre.
Minister, we need this project approved. We need it for all those community benefits I've talked about: social, environmental, economic, and I'd be proud to stand with you once this project is approved.
One of the fundamentals of the priority development area has always been providing an economic lifeline to the indigenous Quandamooka people on Minjerribah, which lost enormous opportunity when sand mining was ended there.
For the ambitions of the Quandamooka people to be realised, a fully functioning and connected transportation system, including a development at Toondah which delivers those ports and other integrated transport, are essential.
The Quandamooka people, who have massive aspirations for country as we head towards 2032 and when the eyes of the world are upon us, what is the future unlocking of our lands for social, cultural, economic growth? So for us, it was really critical that we're involved in this project to resolve land tenure matters, but also look at what were the opportunities and also the protections for country and culture and people. I don't think there's anyone that would disagree that upgrading our ports infrastructure on both Toondah Harbour and at Gympie is required. Everyone agrees that should be happen, and it should be done in a world-class manner. And that's what, as we go towards an Olympic 2032 and Paralympic Games, that's what's required, is to upgrade our infrastructure. Minister, for me, as a Quandamooka person, we've carried through the processes of native title agreements, and we've done that through the guidance and wisdom of our elders of following the process. And so our trust, we entrust you with how you drive forward those processes, and we're involved in those processes. We'll always work proactively with those processes through the Native Title Act and through the other ways that we do it. The process is what will get the end result. There's a lot of voices out there, a lot of noise, but if we just steer everyone back into and that's happened before. There are two native title claims. We had lots of voices and lots of people saying stuff, but by following our processes, that's been the wise choice for us, and for us, that gets us to a good result for everybody, for community, for industry and government, and provides that real certainty for us.
Minister, I know there's been a lot said about this project, but our local community needs it. We need it now, we need it for the jobs, we need it for the economy, and we need it for the housing crisis.
Minister, we'd like to support this project, in particular for our women and our families. Increased housing opportunities and increased employment prospects in the local area would be very welcome.
And we need this project for the Redlands to become of age and to service the Olympics in the future. And it's an important part for the tourism industry to grow in the Redlands.
So Minister, we do urge you to consider this. This is a large impact for our region, and once in a lifetime opportunity. The economic benefits to our region will only make us thrive and grow. It's something that we support, and it's something that our members also support in our business community most of all.
Minister, please consider this project. We need it. We need it here in Redlands Coast. Speaking on behalf of our young people, for their future, we need Toondah Harbour development.
Minister, I would really urge you to give this serious consideration as a project. Cleveland and Redlands has some of the best schools, the best state schools, best private schools, some of the best businesses. We want to retain those people. We want to stop the brain drain and the talent drain leaving the Redlands.
Minister, you really need to consider approving Toondah Harbour development for our Redlands. It provides pathways to get my girls on the tools, get women in construction, build their capabilities, as well as pathways for small businesses and for the future of our children.
So there's been a lot of attention on the impact of the project on the critically endangered eastern curlew. And our assessment has predicted that the project will have no impact on eastern curlew use of roost sites in the vicinity of the project area.
Look, I would say that we've assessed this fairly thoroughly, and I can't see any significant impacts according to the guidelines on aquatic species.
Part of the project is looking at, well, how can we avoid indirect impacts and minimise those as much as possible so that things outside of the project footprint won't be impacted. And we did that through the design process, and one of those things was originally the development went a lot closer to Cassam Island, and it included some uses out there, so that got modified through some feedback from migratory bird experts as well as engineers. to turn that into a rock wall, to pull it away from Cassam Island by another 100 metres. So we have a 250 metre buffer between Cassam Island and any sort of urban uses now. The only thing that sits within that will be that rock wall, which won't be open to the public.
The project has majority community support, with 58% of Cleveland locals in favour of the new Toondah Harbour. But multiple activist groups attempted to hijack the integrity of the EPBC Act and the EIS process, with a coordinated mass national mail-out and social media campaign, pre-filled with only 200 words and one photograph, underpinned by years of incorrect statements and speculation. Top of that list was material claiming Toondah Harbour is home to 40,000 migratory shorebirds. That's incorrect. The figure relates to 3,000 square kilometres of the whole Moreton Bay region. In fact, the average number of migratory shorebirds to visit Toondah Harbour was just 41 over the last 5 years. Also, that Toondah Harbour is home to turtles, dugongs and dolphins. That's incorrect. Toondah Harbour is not home to any of these species. None were observed or counted in the PDA within the 5-year EIS survey period. And also that Toondah Harbour is home to eastern curlew shorebirds. That's also incorrect. An average of 3 eastern curlew can be recorded foraging in Toondah Harbour, but none live or roost there. Their closest roost site is over half a kilometre away. Backed by solid science, Australia's most experienced urban transformation specialist, Walker, are ready to deliver a world-class development which has wise use principles at its core.
10 years ago, we were selected by the Queensland Government and Redlands City Council to undertake our vision to completely transform this area of Toondah Harbour. We believe the EIS is a great balance between enhancing the environment and creating a great community.
I've got every faith that the EIS will enable striking a wonderful balance of wise use at Toondah Harbour. We must have those economic benefits and those social benefits, but we also must have those environmental benefits, and I'm absolutely got every faith that with all the clever heads between the feds, the state and locally, we can get that done right.